Okay, welcome everyone to the Pro Trader Room Plus and the Nopa Crush report. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-minute trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. I am not a financial advisor. It is possible to lose money trading futures. All right, so we're looking at ZL 1225 at the moment. We're going to check volume, although I do believe this is the correct contract. So what are we on the ZL? $6 a tick? It's either 6 or 6 1/4. I always forget. I think it's 6. Pretty sure it's 6. Yep. And we're checking ZL 1225. I'm also watching soybeans on the right, which haven't been really responding very much to this report. A little bit sometimes. Actually, this report hasn't been responding to this report as of late. So this has been a report that has not, it's lost its family money label because it's just not trading very well. And if you take a look at the DMM, it's been pretty much a disaster for 4 months. I mean, disaster is a little bit overrated. It had one stop, but 3 cancels. And it's the fact that it's been canceled 3 out of 4 times that it may just be the end of the report. It just may not be responding anymore. It may only respond as we get closer to the spring. It's possible that it's become totally seasonal. So I'm going to trade it today pretty normally um, and see what happens. I'd like to see a return to the mean where we just get a normal behaved report. Like, let's see if this November, you got to go back. We almost have to go back to 2023 to get a good move on this report. So you could see in 2023 it was fantastic. It was just moving great. When we first started trading it, it was very active. Now we did notice it had a really big move a couple of days before the last report. Now we didn't get the date wrong. This report is always released on the 15th, unless the 15th is on a weekend. And if the 15th is on a weekend, then this report releases Monday, right after the weekend. That's how it works. So November of 2023 was a really good move. We've only had, uh, you got to go back, I think, in, let me look at my notes. We had 1 or 2 good ones this year, but not many. Not many. It's disappointing. It's always very sad when it looks like we're starting to lose a report. The last good move was April, tariff April. That was the month tariffs first started getting talked about seriously. We're using an 8. We're using an 8. We're using an 8. So going back to July, it had an early move in July. I remember that one in 2023, believe it or not. And I couldn't believe it still worked. If I remember correctly, it's going to keep going up. Yep, it missed our stop by 1 tick. It just had a giant move that month. had a decent move before the report and then a very big move after. So that's why we've been trading this report. It has had some decent moves. It really has. But not lately, not in 4 months. Not in 4 months. We had a good move in tariff April, and then really, I mean, March was okay, and then February was small. So maybe we'll get a return to the mean. There's no guarantee. No guarantee, obviously. This is a soybean oil futures. Soybean oil futures. As far as I know, the Apex copier would work with any trade. I don't think there's an issue with trade copiers, not working. So we're going to set up a breakout on this one. Last month, definitely there was no fill, and in July there was no fill. We had a very unusual situation in May. If you all remember, we got here in May, and the market was frozen, not moving. And for a moment, when I first got here, it looks like someone tried to rip all the hair out of my head that day. Anyway, in May, we got here, and the market was limit down. It had hit limit, and you couldn't trade. Soybean oil had moved so much in a previous move that it hit what they call limit, and the market was closed until the next official market open of soybean oil. So we couldn't trade. I did not realize what had happened. So we thought maybe we'd give it a shot and try soybeans, and they didn't really work. They didn't move. How you doing, Francis? I don't necessarily argue that concept. So I'll trade in a prop account. I have a cash account. I have traded this in my cash account, and today I'm not. Today I'm not. Hey Leonard, just send me an email, help at 10minutetrades.com about the squeeze. Okay? 1M, not 2M's. 1M. Would you have a wisdom tooth out, Francis? That's what it sounds like. None of my business. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So Nopa Crush. Here's how I'm going to trade it. Market's pretty quiet. We've seen quite a bit of movement previously before this report. Just looking at a 15-minute chart, look at that. There has been some pretty negative movement today, this morning, on soybeans oil. I would say the market currently is bearish, but at the moment, it's pretty quiet. It's pretty quiet. Now, just from a volume standpoint, new market analyzer. September is not in play. So, I mean, I really do believe we're on the correct contract. I don't think there's any other choice, really. There might be, I always forget what else is available for soybean oil. So go to Tools, Instrument Lists, Futures folder, add ZL. I don't think there is a 1. I doubt if there's a 126. Oh, there is. Okay. So looking at, says no volume on 1. We're definitely on L on December. So that's what we'll trade. I don't believe there's an 11. Invalid. All right. So 12 it is. So I'm going to right click the chart, double click News Trader. It's going to be a breakout. Going to use a little bit smaller bracket if we can get away with it. 8, and then we're going to trigger at 11:59:59 Eastern Time. And targets 8 and 20. And the stop is 20. This is a report that it's not on any of the calendars. Um, Usually we know if it's released when we get filled. As of late, it's been so low impact. We might just wait a minute and then cancel if there's no activity after a minute. More often than not, it comes out fairly close to being on time. It's not to the second, but it's sort of like WASD, quarterly grains. It's usually within the first 40 seconds after the news is expected. So 11:59:59, a bracket of 8, position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, and we've got a target of 8 and 20, two separate targets. Normally, when this report is behaving well, I would add contracts. It's trading so poorly, I'm just going to do a very simple breakout, nothing special. BE -5 if it hits the first target. I will trade in one of our prop accounts. I'll label it BRKZL. And I'll put the time on 0 for a minute. I'll put the chart on Sim so we can look at the bracket. Market's quiet at the moment. So that's perfectly fine. And then I'll go back and I'll put the time back to 11. And I'll choose a trading account. Breakout ZL, apply it, okay it, put the chart on that account, and turn it on by clicking the enabled button. So we have our breakout, and then I will add another strategy setup, a reverse continue. Back in the day when this was moving, every now and then we knew we got filled on the wrong side, and you could put a trade in on the opposite side and make up some of the money if you got filled and stopped. So we'll do a two position, two contract, one position, and I'll go for 20 tick target. I don't really expect that much. I don't expect much movement. I mean, I'm not really my expectations are low because of recent performance, but I'll trade it, fairly normally in case there's a decent move. So I've got a target of 20 and a stop of 20 on our reverse continuation. And I'll label it reverse continue ZL or ZL reverse continue, it doesn't matter. And I'll trade it in our same account, expecting that if I have a discretionary trade, it would be after the breakout takes place. The break even -5 is only a static one-time move, Arthur. So if it says BE -5, if your target one gets hit, the stop just moves to entry -5. That's it. No trailing, nothing. Now, yeah, it's a one-time move. Yes. And I'm just watching soybeans on the right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to set up a reverse continuation on soybeans just for fun in case there's a big move that I might want to reverse or continue. So I'll go to strategy, double click news trader, change breakout to reverse continue. Just one position, one contract. And we'll do a 20 tick target and a 20 tick stop. Soybeans are $12.50 a tick. So we had quite a few nice Nopa trades. It could be that it's done. I don't think so. I think it's going to come back, but you never know. There's no way to know. All right, so let me see if I have any other videos I could show you. I got a couple other videos. So back in April, we had a pretty good move on this. So here's April, 12 noon, couple of seconds, it started moving immediately. Immediately. Soybeans moved that day also. Yes, Leonard. Yep. Yep. You won't interfere with anything. Just remember only one setup per chart if you're using the same instrument, right? You don't want to have multiple setups with the same instrument or that'll screw up a trade, right? That's really the only thing you have to think about. But you can have a strategy that's not enabled and you could be trading on that chart. All right. So we are streaming. Also, let me check my stream. See who's out there. So April, we did have a nice big fat burst, and then we took a second trade continuation. Quite the move in April. It was really big. That was tariff month. The first month tariffs really came into the forefront. So it looks like the new female umpire has the worst correct call rate in Major League Baseball. 90.45 so far, assuming, the numbers are correct. Assuming the numbers are correct. All the umpires, they're horrible on balls and strikes these days. Next year, they should be going to automated, at least a challenge system, so you don't have to lose a game because of a bad call. That's the only way to do it. The way they do it in the minors is great. Let's look at May, Nopa. May. We looked at May, I think. Or I might have had 2 months where I needed new hair. They are talking about it, Calvin, and they tested automated in spring training. Apparently, there's more than one way to do it. So I think they're going to go with the way they're doing it in the minors, which is pretty good. You get, X amount of challenges. And if you get it right, obviously you keep your challenge. If you get it wrong, you lose your challenge. I think they have to do it. The pitchers are so fast these days, it's hard. I'm not even saying it's the ump's fault. It's hard. That's a hard job. Because they don't get that box that we get on TV. They don't have that white box. It's easy for us to see them, but they don't have those white lines. That's what people forget. How come the umpers miss so many? Well, it's not a do-over. It's what's the correct call, right? It's not really a do-over. You don't get to do it again. You just get it right. I think that's good. I think it's a good thing. I'm totally in favor of challenges. Too many games get ruined because of a mistake. And look, if you can't tell, then it doesn't get reversed. It doesn't have to be that complicated. Yeah, they need those white lines, Alan, don't you think? Um, Elon Musk bought $1 billion of Tesla stock. All right, we've got about 4 minutes to go. Market's pretty quiet. Definitely quiet. No, Arthur, if it's 3-2 and ump calls incorrect and they look at the video and it was a strike, the batter's out. Or if it was a ball, he goes to first. They don't do it over. They get the call right. Yep, they get the call right. It'll just overturn the call. All right, 3 minutes. It stops the game, but the challenges to the ball and strike is like a second. It only takes a second. It's really quick. It's not like a guy sliding into second base and they can't tell and they look at 80 different replays. With the robot ball and strike, it's real quick. I mean, I prefer that they let humans call and have a challenge system. That's more interesting than doing it all by robot, but probably they should do it all by robot. You just don't need umps calling balls and strikes anymore. And it really does seem they do a crappy job of it. It's hard. It's hard to do. All right, we're getting there. 2 minutes. Well, but that's why it's good to have humans, right? If you have humans, you can hear it nick the bat. That's why it's always better to have humans with a little bit of robot help. That's to me the best combo. Because usually if it nicks the bat, you'll hear it. And that you can check. See, that's not a ball strike. That would not be a traditional ball strike challenge. That might be a different type of challenge if you think about it. Did it hit the bat or not? I think that would be a different challenge. Well, if the batter says it, Arthur, it's too bad, right? No one's going to believe the batter. That's going to be up to the ump. All right, 35 seconds, everybody. So we'll see. Do we get a fill today? Do we get a return to the mean? Is Nopa going to come back? Is it back? Our brackets will show up in a couple of seconds. There's the brackets. I think that's the report. It's out. I think it's pretty dull. I suppose I'll give it a full minute. That's about all I'm going to do is give it a minute. If it doesn't fill in a minute, I'm going to cancel it. Because I think that might have been the report. It's not usually this late. That's the truth. It's not usually this late. It usually would have been done, out, and we'd have our trade. I really hate canceling, but There's nothing going on. Soybeans aren't moving either. So a minute and a half, I have to cancel, folks. I have to cancel. Gotta cancel. I think that might have been the report. It was like 4 ticks. Click the X and it cancels because the market's completely dead. You don't really want to be trading it, right? We waited 2 minutes. That's more than reasonable for a breakout. I'm canceling. Breakout ZL is canceled. Let's go to the Nopa website. See if they say if it's out yet. It is private. That's the problem. It's $1,200 for the report. So unfortunately, look, all we could do is what we've been doing. And it sure looks like this report just is not doing anything. Let me try one more thing. Nothing. There's your report. There's the report. 8 ticks. Or there's maybe a response to the report. Maybe somehow they're keeping the data so under wraps now that nobody really knows what the data is. And it's taking 2 minutes to come out. Honestly, we don't know. It's not working the way it used to. So I'm not dying to jump in a situation where we're not really sure what's going on, right? That's not the best way to trade when you're not sure what's going on. The thick blue line. I don't see a thick blue line. So that is it. That is it. Too bad. Oh, I had one idea. I don't think ChatGPT will know. Was the Nopa Crush report released to subscribers today? It's not in any public sources, right, of course. Let's let ChatGPT check the schedule. Did we get the schedule wrong? I don't think so. Not to my knowledge. Nope. Should have been released today, 12 noon. All right. I think maybe this report is just done. I think it's just done. All right, folks. Arthur, our next event is tomorrow retail sales. Tomorrow, retail sales. That's our next event. Yeah, I mean, that was the report, or that was the response to the report when the public knew it, when the news came out. That was not really very tradable. I mean, ironically, it says 17 ticks. We had an 8 tick bracket. So, not a whole lot to get. Not a whole lot to get. 8 o'clock tomorrow. 8 o'clock. All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Not a lot of activity this morning, but thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We'll see you the next time. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you know the next time we're streaming. And thank you for joining us on YouTube.